So air travel appears to be back in a sense as travelers feel comfortable flying again. And that's helping airlines find their feet. Unexpectedly, it's also led to the return of a passenger plane model that was supposed to be on its way out, the Airbus A380.
The aircraft parking lot in Victorville, California, where Australian carrier Qantas parked its fleet when the pandemic hit. Lockdown travel restrictions almost bankrupted the global aviation industry. Now the world's planes are gradually taking to the air again, including one model thought retired.
The Airbus A380s are stored in Victorville, and that's for a good reason. It's very, very dry. It's less humid than Alice Springs. And we also have a team of engineers, our engineers, Qantas engineers, based in Los Angeles, so about 2 hours drive from Victorville, in order to carry out the periodic checks. So you don't just park the airplane and walk away. You've got to do checks every week, every fortnight, every month, every 3 months, etc.
Qantas aims to slowly get its A380s back into service next year. Other carriers like Singapore Airlines and British Airways plan to have theirs airborne again within the next few days and weeks. It's a response to a massive surge in ticket sales. The A380 can carry over 850 passengers. It's the largest passenger plane in the world. But Airbus has discontinued production due to lack of demand. Airlines say it's too expensive and bad for the environment. Its days looked counted. Now, however, the graceful giant looks set to make an impressive comeback.
All right, let's get more on this from my colleague Chris Kober. He joins me here in the studio. Chris, good morning, first of all. The A380, we talked about this a couple of years ago. It was supposed to be on its way out.
Right.
Is it seeing a revival now of some sort?
To some degree, If we look at the airlines that are back flying the plane now, it is ANA of Japan, which is waiting to commence A380 connections to Hawaii, meanwhile flying it on domestic connections. Emirates has the biggest A380 fleet in the world, now connecting 27 cities worldwide again with the superjumbo. Singapore Airlines is back flying it. Qatar Airways wants to do that soon. British Airways wants to do it soon, and Qantas as well.
Okay, so everyone's now flying this thing after a period of not really flying many planes at all. Where's this all coming from? Why suddenly are these planes coming out of the dustbin, I guess?
Well, it was mentioned in the report. I mean, video chats are a thing now. Well, guess what? Surprise. Sitting across from your client or your customer is still a thing as well. And with business travel bouncing back much stronger than anticipated, there is demand there for tickets, which is also driven by the fact that the U.S. Will relax some of its entry rules for travelers from the European Union next week. So this is adding to the spike in demand, and carriers are trying to cater to that with the biggest commercially plane made ever.
Okay, but in some ways this seems like overkill. Even British Airways is running a flight between London and Frankfurt with the 380. That seems very unnecessary. So why?
It is necessary in the sense that the plane was grounded for such a long time during much of the pandemic. And now, getting back to flying it again, pilots need to train. They need to get the feel for it again, because flying this sort of plane differs from having just, these jets that serve a medium haul connections. So they are flying this on shorter routes, trying to get in as many takeoffs and landings as possible.
Okay, so everyone's pulling out the old 380s. A380s, how long is this going to last? They're supposed to be not very economical in the long run, right? Aren't they scrapping them?
Which is still true. It won't be viable in the long run. We have to understand that passengers love flying on the plane. They really like the plane. What they also like, though, is going directly from wherever their journey starts to their destination, also mid-size airports. What they don't like is first going to these big hubs where the A380 is stationed. So right. It doesn't really have a future. Add to that the fact that it is a 4-engine plane, so it's very costly to the carriers, to the environment, and as a matter of fact, its days are counted. Airbus will deliver the last models of the A380 to Emirates this month. And here's another sign that times are changing. Emirates is actually has begun stripping its first ever A380 for parts to be turned into furniture, into memorabilia. And once they start picking you apart, your time is up.
So before it's received its last, it's picking apart one of its first.
Exactly.
All right, that makes sense. The economics of the aviation industry, always a mystery. Chris Kober from DW Business, thank you very much.